Hello, and happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, December 3rd. Wow, it's like so close to Christmas. I can't get over it. Christmas is my favorite time of year, by the way. If you've heard me say Christmas a lot lately, it's because it's my favorite holiday of the year as far as like the reason why is because people get into that really good mindset. People are happy, they're kind to others, they go out of their way to do things for others. And this is something I really wish that people would actually carry forward their entire year, but that's something that we can all strive to achieve, right? It's just really being in that mindset and wanting that. So today you see that I've got in the title notes that mindset is key and what you risk when it's off. It's essential for our emotional well-being to achieve self-awareness around our emotions so that we make better decisions on how we respond, you know, and the things that we say and we do when we're triggered based on how we're feeling. Now, achieving self-awareness means taking time to really getting to know who you are, being open to change because change is inevitable. I got hair in my eyes, and embracing that pivoting may be part of the process. In fact, it's a part of the process that we oftentimes resist along with change. Good morning, my name is Leslie Cadet and I'm an empowerment coach. I help my clients achieve self-awareness around their emotions so that they can handle the triggers, in turn manage their emotions and live a more positive life. So this week's topic is all around mindset and how I believe that mindset is key. I believe it's the root to supporting you and keeping you grounded. But before I get started on today's topic, let me explain the trigger cycle, which is you can see right behind me. This is the triggers cycle. Really simple, real simple, but you've got your triggers, your emotions, your responses, meaning the things that you say and you do. Good morning, thank you for joining. And your rewards. So rewards meaning once you have said and done something, your actions basically, that will provide your reward, which is the byproduct, meaning it'll be either negative or a positive reward. So what are triggers? Some of the triggers are things like the anniversary date of loss or trauma, maybe something scary is going on in the news today. Perhaps you have family friction. You know, we just came off of Thanksgiving here in the US, and I'm sure some of the dinner table conversations, well, I'm hoping that they weren't, but I'm sure some of them were probably a little testy. And of course, then you've got Christmas coming up, and that's another thing. Maybe the ending of a relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a long-term friendship, someone very close to you. It could also be overwhelmed. So again, we're at that time of year where people are starting to feel overwhelmed by all the things that they have to get done. A lot of people leave their Christmas shopping to last minute. And of course, there's that whole overwhelming feeling of how many people you have to buy for and the time it's going to take to do that. That's why I think a lot of people love online shopping. Thank you, Amazon. And then there's also things like financial issues. So again, we're in the season of giving. People are, a lot of the time, they don't realize that giving does not have to be tangible, like something that someone can hold in their hands. It could be just your time, a phone call, a text, an email, a card, a letter, anything. Your voice can do wonders for someone that just need to hear your voice. Can be the biggest gift that you can give is connection, right? Connecting with others. So again, those are some of the triggers. Again, so what ends up happening is when we are triggered by something, that will then evoke an emotion. So our emotions are the things that will then drive our actions. So whatever we say, the things that we do. So based on how we're feeling, based on that trigger, is how we're going to show up, or shall I say, allow ourselves to show up. Because sometimes when it's negative, if we do not take back that control around this piece, where you have the control, then you end up probably saying and doing things that you often will regret later, have to go back and fix, because now you've had time to cool off and think about it, and you've maybe hurt someone's feelings, or maybe you've done something to undermine a success that you're working towards. So really super important to be aware of this. That's self-awareness around this is really key, especially in the business world. If you're trying to level up, get a new promotion, maybe you're starting a business, and it's really how you show up this way, which is going to really make a difference in the people that you work with. So in that case, what happens is, I said, your response is either one of two things, positive response or a negative response. And so it's just really how you deal with this piece here when you are triggered. So now that you understand what the triggers cycle is, This is something that I teach a lot more about in my free Facebook group by giving my group things that they can do to help them learn about their own emotions, about the things that they do in their lives, about themselves, like going deep and really understanding. As I said, in order for you to achieve self-awareness, you really have to get to know who you are, being open to change, because change is inevitable, and embrace that, pivoting may be part of your process. So getting back, and if you're interested in learning more about the Facebook group that I have created, which is free, just DM me and I will send you the link. So getting back to today's topic, which is about mindset, what you risk when it's off. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you remember yesterday, if you watched my live, I said that scholars believe that intelligence can be developed by having a growth mindset. And they also believe that a person is respected and valued by their peers by having a learning mindset. I also found through my research that scholars also believe that through growth mindset, intelligence can be developed. So if you think of it this way, if you're always open, you're allowing yourself to always be open to receiving and willing to learn, and you go out of your way to find ways to level up what you already know, or maybe even are willing to put yourself out there to learn something new, you become more educated in that which you're researching to learn about, and you're in essence becoming a better version of you, right? So getting back to mindset, when it's off and what you risk. Well, number one, you're less motivated to put yourself out there to learn something new or even level up in something that you already know a little about. So you're less motivated. You're less motivated to put yourself out there to step outside of your comfort zone, and thereby you allowing yourself to become a better version of you. You're basically not allowing yourself to step into your own greatness. And we are all capable of stepping into our own greatness if we are allowing ourselves to be open to receiving. You won't allow yourself to be open to receiving and accepting of change as a positive thing. You won't allow yourself to not only accept change, but you also won't allow yourself to pivot when necessary, and you'll possibly miss out on new opportunities, new possibilities, new connections, which could possibly be the one amazing opportunity or connection that gets you living the life that you always dreamed about. And you will find yourself not feeling any motivation to navigate your life with certainty. And you will allow this, what we go through every day, because you can see in the middle I wrote, it's on repeat, sometimes multiple times a day. You will allow this cycle, meaning you allow your emotions to manage you with your inner villain. Our self-talk can be negative, and that's our inner villain. You're going to allow your inner villain to call the shots every day, and you'll possibly find yourself in the same place, the same situation where you are unhappy with how your life is. But guess what? 5 years or even 10 years or more have passed, and nothing has changed. So when your mindset is off, you risk much. The thing is, time can pass by so quickly that you don't notice until you notice. Meaning one day you wake up and think to yourself, there's got to be more to life than this. And I know what that's like because I lived that. I was that girl who let this cycle manage me. My emotions managed me. They ran my life. I held on to things that kept me allowing a certain emotion to always take the reins whenever I was emotionally triggered. I held on to things to use as a weapon later on in how I interacted with others. So it was like I would say, I've forgiven you, but I haven't forgotten. And I would use that. I would bring it back. I was that victim, and I blamed everything and everyone for my unhappy life. I was blaming my unhappiness on everything else, on everyone else. My emotion that I was allowing to always take the reins was fear. Fear of failure, fear of success. Yes, I was afraid that if I succeeded, then what? Fear of the unknown, fear of not having control, always being afraid to release my hold on every situation, always trying to control everything because I didn't know how something was going to turn out. But guess what? You can't control what you can't control. How about fear that I would not be enough? Yeah, or even good enough. Fear of being judged. I was always thinking about, like, what would people think? What would people say? Would they criticize me? Would they think I'm crazy? Would they call me out on that? And then would I allow them, this is the really sad part, would I allow them to talk me out of stepping out of my comfort zone and then missing out on something great, like possibly missing out on a new connection, a new opportunity. And then ultimately I started resenting them. And last but not least, fear of not being worthy or capable. And so why bother trying, right? Fear is so powerful that it will stop you before you even start something, because guess who's in control? Your inner villain. Your inner villain, our self-talk, the negative self-talk that goes on up here, because we all have our inner voice, right? We actually have two. And so, you're not like, you don't have multiple personalities. What I'm saying is you have two, your inner villain and your inner hero. But your inner villain, you're allowing to be in control, to manage your emotions that are managing you. Around this, when you get triggered, believe me when I say time waits for no one. And fear feeds off of that. And I allowed my fear to drive me for so many years until I didn't. Until I realized that if I wanted more for my life, then I had to go for it, whatever that was, despite all of my fears. So if you've been listening to my lives for the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I have a new program that's going live in January, and sign up is available now. And I'm super excited to announce that my 90 Days Accelerator program to manage your emotions and master your life is now open for enrollment. If you are ready and have been allowing your emotions to manage you for a long time, and you are finally ready to take back that control, then this may just be the program for you. Like I said, fear is so powerful that it will stop you before you even start something, because your inner villain is at the wheel, controlling your emotions and is managing them. And in turn, your emotions are managing you. Now, I don't know how that makes you feel, but I know that when I was in my fear-driven life, allowing fear to stop me from doing anything at all, being a victim, blaming everyone else for my circumstances, but never taking a step to change and step outside of my comfort zone, despite all my fears. When I was doing that, as I said, I would hold on to grudges. I would hold things. I would use them as ammunition at a later date. If you did something that was similar, boy, oh boy, I was pulling out my arsenal saying, well, remember when? I was allowing fear to be my master. I didn't want that anymore. So if that's you and you're ready to take back your power, and I'm saying that, yes, it's your power over your emotions, thereby allowing your inner hero, because we all have one, to get to work so that you can start strengthening your self-awareness muscle, because you need self-awareness and become more confident and in control. Ultimately, you end up managing your emotions, the things that you say and the things that you do when you're emotionally triggered. Then you'll see in the title notes, I have a link. Click on that link for access to my new 90 Days Accelerator program, which has been created for you so that you can take back the power from your emotions and start living your life. Look, in a few short weeks, we are entering not only a new year, but a new decade. Like, this is crazy. It's not just another new year. Now we're starting it's like we're starting over another decade. Do you want to repeat another year with your emotions managing you? Always having to go back and fix things with one foot in the past, barely in your present, and no hope of looking to your future for what's next? Or are you ready for more? Are you ready to go for it, whatever that may be for you, despite your fears? It's your time to manage your emotions, and it's your time to master your life. So if you are ready, click on the link and let's set up a call to see where you are at and if you are a good fit for the program. Spots are going to go fast, and I don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to be like me. Look, I don't want you to be like me and allow another decade to pass you by before you decide that it's time, because time waits for no one. And I want you to be able to look back at December 2019 and fondly remember that that was the time that you decided to take back control over this piece here, which is where you have the control. Because once you start becoming self-aware around what your triggers are, how you're emotionally triggered, you're going to be able to make better decisions in how you show up in the things that you say and you do. And I want you to be able to do that so that you can start living the life that you love and loving the life that you are living. So think about it. What is it going to take for you to start your decade with that mindset? Because mindset is key. And if it's not right, it's not going to serve you, and you're not going to be able to step into that best version of you that you hope to achieve. Because I know I hope to achieve being the best version of me every day. So it's up to you. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. Remember to navigate your day with an attitude of gratitude, because with the right attitude, it will put you in the right mindset for when life happens, and it will. I'm Leslie Gaudette, and I'm an empowerment coach. I help my clients achieve self-awareness around their emotions so that they can handle their triggers, manage their emotions, and live a more positive life. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.